Hi, welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. What I'm making today is another recipe belonging to my Aunt Clara for a nut loaf. So I'm excited to share another recipe belonging to Aunt Clara, and this one is one that I could remember as a child, and mostly at Christmas time is when she used to make this one for us, but I like having it any time of the year. Only a few simple ingredients. If this recipe interests you, let's get started. Here is between a cup and a cup and a half of walnuts. Now it's called a nut loaf, but Aunt Clara said you could use whatever nuts that you like. She've put almonds over the top as well, but I like the walnut one, so I'm going to share this one with you today. So you got these here. We're going to crush it and leave a few of them full because it'll go over the top. So pretty much I just put it into a bag, and then I'm going to use my meat tenderizer to just crush them up, or you can buy it already crushed. Just a few simple ingredients. I'm going to use a mix of white flour and all-purpose white flour and all-purpose wheat flour. So I got 2 cups of the white and 1 cup of the wheat. We're going to be using a mix of milk and water. So we got about a cup of milk and then half a cup of water, and you can do the opposite. You can do a half cup of water and a cup of milk, so a little bit more if you need it. We got some white sugar, egg, we got some baking powder, sea salt, and almond extract. So now let's get cracking, crushing up those walnuts. So we got 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and I'm, like I was saying, using multi-air with the all-purpose all wheat and the white. We got 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. You could use sugar of choice. You can also use a little less. I like it about this much because it really blends in nice with these walnuts. I got a half a teaspoonful of sea salt. You could use a table salt. And we got 4 teaspoonfuls of baking powder. I'm going to toss that in, and we're just going to sift it on in to the bowl. So sift it on in. Now the whole wheat is not going to sift through, so you can just toss that to the top. Now, after I make a whole lot of mess here, Raymond, with our flour, now we're going to toss in our walnuts. They're all crushed. Toss in the rest of those. So I haven't got it crushed where you can't see the walnuts. I want to see that as well, but I also want to have the flakes in through there of those walnuts. So you're just going to toss that on in through that dry mixture. Now what I'm going to do is take all of my wet mixture, the milk, water, oil, and the egg, and put together. So that's 1 teaspoonful of almond extract. Now you could use, if you don't like almond extract, you could use a vanilla. That's fine because it will taste just as nice. But I like the flavor of that in this loaf. 1/3 of a cup of oil. I'm using a canola oil. You can also use a vegetable oil. And then the 1 large egg. I just cracked it into a separate container first, and then mix it all through, and then gradually mix it into the dry ingredients. So if you need any more liquid milk or water, you can always add it in, because sometimes you know, depending on the measurements of your flour, if you're a little bit more, may be a little more that you would need of the liquid. But just mix this on in, just roughly. You can do it with your mixer if you want to, or just your wooden spoon, just to get it all incorporated. And that's all you need to do there, just until it's all incorporated in together. what you would need now is a 9x6 loaf pan and a sheet of parchment paper. If you don't want to put parchment paper, which you don't have or whatnot, you could use just butter or oil. I put it in there so as I can just lift out the loaf, and it's just a little easier that way.
It's more or less a little tip.
Yeah, you could.
I need a tip time.
Yes, it just helps. It just helps remove it from the pan, and then and sometimes it just prevents the bottom from burning onto your pans. My pans are old. They're just worn, and I just don't have the heart to get rid of them. So sometimes things just...
Sentimental value.
Yeah, sometimes it just wants to stick. Even when I grease it, it doesn't make a difference. So for me, it's just a little easier. So you're just going to scoop out all of that batter into the loaf pan and just spread it out roughly. You don't need to be fancy. After you've got that spread out, so your extra walnuts now, and if you don't want to use walnuts on the top, you could use almonds, you could use whatever nut you got available. You know, just spread it out there like that. And I like it all like this, and that way you just see it. It's so nice. So now we're going to tell you how long you need to bake this for. So what you can do now is preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And then set your timer to anywhere from 45 minutes to 60 minutes until toothpick clean, knife clean, whichever you want to check it with. And then when mine is baked, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Our nut loaf is baked. I'm going to take it out now and show you what it looks like. And I got one down here in advance that's at room temperature. And I got that one cut to have a little taste. I can't wait for you to make one of these, because this is the type of recipe that you can prepare when you're expecting company, or if you just want to sit down with a nice cup of tea. Now just look at this delicious nut loaf, my Aunt Clara's recipe. And now I'm going to have a little taste. This is one that we done earlier today, and just look at the inside. And having that all wheat flour as well, it just gives it that nice look to it, and you can see all of the walnuts in there. And of course you could use whatever, my Aunt Clara said you can use whatever type of nuts that you enjoy having. I'm just going to have a little bit of butter on there. Now I'm going to have a little taste with a nice cup of tea. And a few helpful tips to go along with this recipe. If you wanted to do it in a bundt pan, you can do it in a bundt pan. If you want to sprinkle some icing glaze over the top, you can do that. So you can dress it up. You could have it just with butter, like the way that we've grown to love. Because like I said, Aunt Clara used to make this one for us. I think it was Mom's way of getting away from making it, because she knew that she was going to do it for her. Which is fine. I'm going to have a little taste. The crunch of those walnuts. Texture. Oh my gosh. 2 thumbs up. I can't wait for you to make it. I just can't wait to sit down there now and pour myself up some more tea and eat the rest of that nut loaf. Well, not all of it, but just slice. Well, this one, and Raymond can have that one. That was good. I'm glad everybody's going to get a chuckle out of that.
Yeah, sure.
You notice how I'm going to share this one, but I will. I'll share it with my neighbors and whoever else that stops by for a taste. I'm going to leave the recipe in under this video link, and as well we'll provide it for you on our Facebook page and our website, www.bonitaskitchen.com. I'll also, if you can't find it there, we'll share it with you on, just send me an email at bonitakitchen@gmail.com. I love to send it to you. And again, I hope you enjoyed this recipe. It belonged to my Aunt Clara. She was happy to share it with me, and maybe we'll get her back on the show again in the next little while for sure. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe today, and I can't wait for you to make some. I'm not going to take any more of your time. We know it's precious, and we thank each and every one of you for stopping by here today. On behalf of myself, Raymond, and our team, and from our kitchen to yours, you have a wonderful day.
Join us by the sea, a journey in culinary, always an open door. Bonita's kitchen to yours. Bonita's kitchen to yours.